Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Chasing English. Here, every day, we practice reading English together. The more we read, the more our English grows strong and confident. So, don't forget practice reading with Chasing English every day, and soon you will see your English skills shine like a bright light. Today, I want to tell you a very special story. It is the story of a man you may already know. His name is Dwayne Johnson, but the whole world calls him The Rock. Dwayne Johnson is one of the most famous people in the world. He is a strong actor, a businessman, and also a kind father. You may have seen him in big movies like Fast and Furious, Jumanji, and Black Adam. When people see him on screen, they think, wow, he is so powerful, so rich, and so successful. But, do you know the truth behind his smile? Do you know about his childhood, his pain, his failures, and the many struggles he had before he became a star? Most people don't. That is why today we will read about his life together. And while we read, you will also practice your English skills step by step. Let's begin from the very start. Dwayne Douglas Johnson was born on May 10, 1972, in a small town called Hayward, California, USA. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a professional wrestler, and his mother, Ada Johnson, was the daughter of a famous Samoan wrestler. Many people think Dwayne was born rich because of his father's career, but that is not true. His childhood was not easy. In fact, it was full of many problems and hard days. When Dwayne was a young boy, his family did not have enough money. They moved from place to place, trying to survive. Sometimes, they had no home of their own. One day, when Dwayne was only 14 years old, he came home and saw something very sad. His family had been kicked out of their house because they could not pay rent. He saw his mother cry, and it broke his heart. Sometimes they did not even have enough money for food. This made young Dwayne very angry and very sad. He began to fight at school. He even stole things to survive. By the age of 15, he was arrested many times. His life was going in a dangerous direction, a path that could have destroyed his future. But then, something inside Dwayne began to change. One day, after looking at himself in the mirror, he felt deep shame. He did not want to see a failure anymore. He saw the pain in his mother's eyes, and he promised himself, I will change my life. I will work harder than ever. I will not give up. That was the first step of his long, hard, but amazing journey. After that day in the mirror, young Dwayne Johnson made a strong promise to himself. He said, I will not stay weak. I will change. I will be strong. From then on, his life slowly started to move in a new direction. Dwayne began to focus on his body. He went to the gym every day. He lifted weights, he trained, and he worked harder than anyone else. Sweat poured down his face, but he never stopped. Every push-up, every run, every weight he lifted reminded him, I can be better. I can be great. He also changed the people around him. Before, he had friends who made bad choices. They got into trouble, but Dwayne decided to stop spending time with them. He wanted a new future, not the old one. His dream at that time was to become a professional football player. He thought, if I work hard, maybe one day I can play in the NFL. Maybe one day I can help my family live a better life. Dwayne worked and worked, and soon he became a good football player. In fact, he became so good that he won a scholarship to play football at the University of Miami, one of the best football teams in the USA. For the first time in his life, Dwayne felt hopeful. He thought his problems were over. He dreamed of running into the stadium, wearing the NFL uniform, and hearing the cheers of thousands of fans. He dreamed of buying his mother a safe, beautiful home where she would never cry again. But life, as we know, is not always easy. Even when we try our best, sometimes bad things happen. One day, during a football game, Dwayne was badly hurt. He suffered a serious injury. His coaches told him that his football career was finished. His dream of the NFL was gone in an instant. Dwayne was only 23 years old. He had no job, no money, and no future plan. He had to move back into his parents' small apartment. He was so poor that he only had $7 in his bank account. Can you imagine that? One day, you believe you will be a superstar, and the next day, you have almost nothing. Many people would give up. Many people would lose all hope. Dwayne sat in his tiny room, holding the $7 in his hand. He felt lost. He felt broken. He saw sadness in his mother's eyes again, and it hurt him deeply. But this was not the end. This was only the beginning of something even greater. Dwayne Johnson sat in his small, dark room, feeling lost. He had no job, no money, and no dream left. Every day he thought, "What will I do with my life now?" One morning, his father walked into the room and said, "Get up, son. Let's train." At first, Dwayne didn't want to move. He was sad and tired, but something inside told him, "Stand up. Don't stop." So he followed his father to the gym. When he lifted weights, sweat ran down his face. His muscles burned, but he felt alive again. For the first time in weeks, he remembered who he was: an athlete, a fighter, a man who does not quit. After some time, Dwayne made a big decision. His father was a professional wrestler, and even though Dwayne had never planned to follow that path, he thought, "I have nothing to lose. I will try wrestling." When he told his father was surprised. Wrestling was not easy. It was not just about being strong. It was about performing, entertaining, and living a very hard life on the road. But when his father saw the fire in Dwayne's eyes, he agreed to train him. Training was very tough. His father made him wake up early every morning. He pushed Dwayne to practice for hours and hours. Some days his body was covered in bruises. Some days he felt like giving up. But every time he wanted to quit, he remembered one thing: "I only have $7. If I fail, I have nothing." After months of hard work, Dwayne was ready for his first wrestling match. But then came another problem: nobody wanted to hire him. Wrestling companies told him he was too big or not the right type. He traveled from city to city, but every door closed. Finally, he got a small chance to wrestle at a local event. It was not a big stage, but it was a start. When Dwayne entered the ring, he felt nervous but also excited. He won the match, but the audience did not cheer. They didn't connect with him. For many months, he wrestled in small shows. He traveled in old cars, slept in cheap motels, and sometimes ate only a can of tuna with rice. Life was still hard, but Dwayne refused to quit. Then one day, he got the biggest chance of his life: an opportunity to join WWE, the most famous wrestling company in the world. But there was one condition: he had to play a character named Rocky Maivia, a smiling, friendly wrestler the company wanted fans to love. But instead of love, the fans booed him. Every time he entered the ring, the crowd shouted against him. Dwayne felt humiliated. He had worked so hard, but still, people rejected him. That night, sitting alone, he felt the same pain he once felt after losing football: failure, rejection, doubt. But this time, Dwayne made a different choice. He would not quit. He would reinvent himself. He would be real. He would show the world his true self. And soon, a new star would be born. The night after the fans booed him, Dwayne Johnson sat alone and thought hard. He remembered how he had already lost football. He remembered the times when he had no home, no food, and only $7. He asked himself, "Will I give up again? Or will I fight back?" Dwayne chose to fight, but this time, he wanted to be himself. He went to WWE and said, "Let me be me. Let me show the people who I really am." And that is how The Rock was born. The next time he entered the ring, he walked with confidence. His face was strong, his voice was powerful, and his attitude was real. He looked at the crowd and shouted his famous words, "Finally, The Rock has come back." The audience went wild. This time, they loved him. They cheered, they clapped, and they shouted his name. The Rock had something different: energy, humor, and a personality that made people excited. From that moment, Dwayne Johnson became one of the biggest stars in wrestling history. He won championships, had legendary rivalries, and entertained millions of fans around the world. The same people who once booed him now screamed his name with love. But Dwayne was not satisfied. He dreamed bigger. He thought, "I don't want to be only a wrestling star. I want to be the biggest entertainer in the world." So he made a bold choice. He left wrestling and went to Hollywood. At first, people laughed at him. They said, "You are just a wrestler. You cannot be an actor. You will fail." Even when he got small movie roles, nobody took him seriously. But just like before, Dwayne did not give up. He worked harder than anyone else. He trained, he learned, and he gave 100% to every role, no matter how small. Slowly, Hollywood began to notice him. His big breakthrough came with movies like The Scorpion King and later Fast and Furious. People saw something special in him: his charisma, his smile, his power, and his work ethic. Step by step, the world began to see Dwayne Johnson not just as a wrestler, but as a movie star. And soon, he would become the highest paid actor in Hollywood. From having only $7 in his pocket to becoming the highest paid actor in Hollywood, Dwayne Johnson's story is truly amazing. He starred in blockbuster movies like Jumanji, Mona, and Black Adam. He built successful businesses, created his own brands, and became one of the most followed people in the world. But even with all the fame and money, Dwayne never forgot where he came from. He remembered the days when he was poor, when he felt like a failure, and when his family had nothing. That memory gave him strength. It reminded him to always stay humble, to always work hard, and to always help others. Dwayne also became a loving father. He spent time with his daughters, played with them, cooked breakfast for them, and sang them songs before bed. To him, being a good father was even more important than being a superstar. He also gave back to the community. He built charities, donated money, and helped families in need. He even surprised old friends with gifts, never forgetting the people who helped him when he was struggling. Today, Dwayne Johnson is not only an actor or a wrestler, he is an inspiration. His life teaches us one clear lesson: never give up. Work hard every day. Believe in yourself, even when others doubt you. Because if a boy who once had only $7 could rise to become one of the most successful people in the world, then you too can reach your dreams. My friends, this was the story of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I hope it gave you courage and motivation. Remember, just like Dwayne worked on his body every day, you can work on your English every day. Step by step, you will grow stronger, more confident, and more successful. Here on Chasing English, we will always read stories together, stories that teach you English and also inspire your life. So don't forget to practice reading with us every day. Thank you for being here with me. Stay strong, keep smiling, and keep chasing your dreams with Chasing English.